Thank you, Ty. If your kids have trouble paying attention or maybe overly active, you may think they have ADHD. While it is often diagnosed in childhood, it often lasts into adulthood. Psychologist and counselor Dr. Rachel Glick with us this morning with how it's impacting the disorder. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Yeah, I think a lot of people kind of associate this with children, but more and more adults are now being diagnosed with ADHD. Why is that?
Yes. Well, some of the reasons are because as people are having their children be diagnosed, they're realizing that they have it too. And also there's a growing awareness. There's a lot of celebrities, there's a lot on social media bringing attention to it. And there's more access now to really medical care for some groups that are having people realize that they actually are affected and they weren't really diagnosed when they were children.
Is it possibly because of more and more being diagnosed that Adderall is in short supply right now?
Yeah, that's one of the explanations for the lack of supply, is that there are more people realizing it, and so they can't keep up with the demand.
So what happens with someone who has ADHD and they go untreated?
Well, most people who have ADHD function well enough, but it depends on how extreme it gets. Some people have it much more severely than others, but there's a lot of incredible gifts, like impressive strengths about ADHD. So without really harnessing and understanding the challenges that it comes with it and the strengths, then untreated means that you really don't actualize your potential.
What are some of the symptoms that people should look out for and say, I may have that? Yeah.
Usually it's the things that get in the way that you notice first about your ADHD. Inattention, distractibility, inconsistent attention, disorganization, procrastination, time blindness, difficulty with transitions, like once you're in focusing on something, very difficult to then stop and then get back in again. Those are some of the common ones, but some of the ones that are less common but are really important is rejection sensitivity and emotional hyperarousal, where it's and hyperfocus. So those are some of the things that can get in the way.
Yeah. Once you've been diagnosed, is it with you forever? Do you ever get rid of it?
It's genetic. It's most people feel that way. It is somewhat influenced by environment, but it's really part of your neurology. That's just part of how you were created. So, but some people find that the older they get, that there's less of an issue with it. But some people are finding it's showing up more now, also in part because of social, more technology and less time outdoors. And so it's bringing out what people have already had and making it more prominent.
So there are a few other things you can do besides taking medication to kind of help with ADHD.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. There's some really powerful tools. One of them is really learning about your ADHD, really learning also about the strengths, like higher than average IQ and creative and thinking out of the box and really affable. And really some of the tools, for each challenge, there's tools that you can use, and you'll need to change them up, because the attention span is one that is based on intrigue and interest. If you aren't interested, then you're not going to be paying attention to it.
Absolutely, makes sense. Dr. Rachel Glick, thank you so much. We
My
appreciate you
pleasure.
stopping by this morning.
My
For
pleasure.
more information about Dr. Glick, just head to fox2now.com and the AM Show tab.